So take heed on that. Don't fear losing your friends or your popularity, because they're going to come with you. Another example is you have sex because you're afraid of losing your boyfriend. That happens. You're afraid of, oh man, if I don't have sex, then he's going to leave me. You know? Then bump that dude then, man. If he ain't serving God, forget about it. Or another thing is you're an athlete and you cheat because you're afraid of losing your competitive edge. Those are some things you got to think about. All these performance enhancers and stuff that these guys are taking, steroids and stuff like that. They're cheating because they want to make it to the pros, or they want to, when they get to the pros, have a competitive edge. And this is another big one, a really big one. You don't tell others about what Jesus has done for you because you're afraid of rejection. That's awesome. But some of y'all are. Some of y'all, I like that. Some of y'all ain't afraid. I mean, I had to tell these guys the other day, what? You think you're too tough for God? You know, you think you're so raw and so hard that you're above God? Yeah. We let them know. We let them know. Just because we in a church van, that don't mean we some suckers. What do you think? We let them know. All of us who's in the van, and we let them know. But some of y'all might be afraid of that. Like, yo, you know, this guy's really coming down. He's mean mugging us as we're driving past when we was looking for our peoples. Oh man, I'm afraid to represent Christ in front of him. Nah, man, don't be afraid. Represent. That's what we did. We represented. So that's a big one. A lot of cats, they're afraid to tell others what Jesus has done for them. So, how can we avoid making a bad decision based upon fear? Well, the easy thing to tell you would be this: avoid fear. But I'm sure that's not realistic. There are lots of reasons why we fear: the future, uncertainty, pressure, loneliness, failing, unmet needs, our past history, and so on. And many things we can't avoid, right? So, what do we do? How can we avoid making bad decisions based upon fear? Number one, go ahead and put that up there. This is one of your fillings. Purpose. Never to make a decision when you have feelings of fear. And like Yoda says, fear leads to the dark side. Watch this.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
You see that? Play that one more time, because I think they thought it was going to be longer. Play that again. Now listen up.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
So, hey, if Yoda says it and I'm saying it, that's confirmation. Fear leads to the dark side. Fear clouds judgment and causes you to do things you wouldn't normally do and make decisions that you wouldn't normally make, right? There's one exception though. The one exception is you should make a decision, of course, if you're in physical danger. If you're in physical danger, you make a quick decision and you make it fast because you're afraid, right? That's one exception. But generally, when you're afraid, don't make a decision. Wait and say, but what can I do instead of being afraid? Well, point number two. When you're afraid, trust in God. When you are afraid, trust in God. And it talks a lot about that in Psalms 56. So when you get home, when you're doing your quiet time, check out Psalms 56. But point number two, when you're afraid, trust in God. Who is God? What is He like? What has He done for His people in history? What has He done for you? What does He want to do for you in the future? I believe that if you know God and who He is and what He's done and what He wants to do in you and for you, then you can trust Him. Many bad decisions are made out of fear. Saul, as we saw in the text, he made a bad, foolish decision based on fear. And listen to the consequences of his bad decision. Let's look at 1 Samuel 13:13 again. We're going to look at the consequences. And Samuel said to Saul, "You have done foolishly. You have not kept the commandment of the Lord your God, which He commanded you." So, his action was, he made a decision based on fear, thought he was going to lose his army, didn't wait for the Lord like he was commanded, right? Here's the consequence. For now the Lord would have established your kingdom over Israel forever. That's his consequence, y'all. Decisions based upon fear often cause you to do things that you shouldn't do for the wrong reasons. Don't make decisions based on fear. Trust in God. Learn who He is. Learn what He's done for His people in the past and what He wants to do in your life. Then you can avoid making bad decisions based on fear. You got me on that, y'all?
Yep.
All right, let's pray.